friends, and welcome to today's video. I've had a few people contacting me asking questions about baby products and what I used. Someone in particular messaged me saying it's her first child and she'd love to know things that I used. So I've decided to create a list of 10 baby products that I deem as essential when having a baby. These are if I were to have another child, which unfortunately I'm not. You might have already watched my video where I discussed not having more children, but I originally wanted 4 kids, and if I were to have more children, these are the only 10 products I would use other than baby clothes. I've not included baby clothes on the list because I feel like that's a bit of a given. My number one thing when having a baby, my most important item I think is a sling. I have always wore them, carried them, whatever you want to call it, baby wearing, there's so many different names, but I've always used slings. When they're first born, I use a wrap like this, and then once they're able to hold their head a bit more, after a few months, I then use my Tula carrier, which looks like this. But I did have 3 slings. However, if I were to have another one now, I would probably just stick to my Tula carrier and get a baby insert. The Tula, you can carry them on your front or on your back, and they're so comfy. I bought mine secondhand. Slings can be really expensive, and it still was for a secondhand one. My one, it was about £80 secondhand because I was looking for this specific design. But a good carrier I bought with my first, and I've used that so much. Like my eldest, who is now 7, was able to still fit in my baby Tula until he was about 5 years old. He probably could still fit in now if I wanted him to. But actually a sling for me is more important than a buggy, and if I had to pick, I would pick a sling anytime. That was my number one item, a really good baby carrier. I highly, highly, highly recommend investing in a really good carrier that you love. And look around your area, there's often sling libraries, carrier libraries that you can go to and try loads of different ones before you buy, so you can figure out what you like and what you don't like before you invest in the product. My number 2 item that I feel is essential is a baby bouncer. I will insert what I mean here. I don't mean these fancy baby bouncers that bounce themselves. They play music and they vibrate and all them things, and they have loads of dangly bits. I like really basic, almost old school 90s baby carriers. I just want somewhere that you can just put your baby and they're tucked and safe, but they're comfy and you can get on with things. And I just think they're really useful, and I try to stick to very minimal basic ones and that don't have a lot of faff. But with that, I bought mine secondhand. I think with my first, I bought a lot of these things new that were all gadgets and gizmos and plenty, and they were expensive, and then I had a big age gap, and I sold a lot of them when I realised that's not the type of gadgets I want. And then when I had my second, I bought secondhand cheap ones that were exactly what I wanted. Sometimes not cheap. If I liked the product, I'd spend more money. Moving on to my number 3. My third most important baby essential was and is reusable nappies and wipes. I bought all of my reusable nappies secondhand off Facebook for about £100, and I was able to use them on my both children. So I spent about £100 on all of the nappies from when they were younger, and they last from birth until potty. So I take that with a grain of salt because I have very small skinny babies. So for the first 4 to 6 weeks, they are just too skinny for reusable nappies, at least the birth to potty ones. If I knew what I know now, I probably would have invested in some newborn ones, but I didn't do that. I did use disposable nappies for the first 4 to 6 weeks because also you're knackered. You don't really want to add in reusable nappies on top of that. But once they got to 6 weeks, both my babies were cloth nappied, and yeah, they were such a good secondhand investment. Even though they were secondhand, they still did such an amazing job. I used these ones, the Bum Genius ones. That's what I used for all of my kids, and I absolutely loved them. And that's as well as reusable wipes. I still have all of my reusable wipes, and I just use them for like washing my face. I've cleaned them, of course, but I wash my makeup off of them, I clean with them. I do so much stuff with these reusable wipes. I love them. Even if you do not use reusable nappies, would highly recommend reusable wipes. Which kind of goes hands with my number 4, which is muslins. I had so many muslin cloths. I don't feel like you can ever have too many muslin cloths because they get lost, you leave them places, they need to be washed, and I had very sicky babies. And yeah, muslin cloths, amazing. I could not parent without muslin cloths. Moving on to my number 6, which is a swivel car seat. I never bought the carry car seats where you leave your baby in the car seat and then you carry them out. I never wanted to have one of those because they're just not the safest place to leave your baby, and I didn't want the option to leave my baby in the car seat because I feel like it would have been too easy if the baby was asleep in the car seat just to carry them and leave them in the car seat for longer than they should have been. I didn't want to give myself that option to be lazy because I knew that I would have been lazy. We just got newborn to age 4 and it can swivel around, so it can go rear facing and forward facing, and then when you're getting them in the car seat you don't have to like contort yourself in to try and strap them in. You just plonk them in and you swivel the car seat round rather than swivel your body round. Whenever I would get to my destination, I would straight away transfer them into a sling. I bought this car seat new because you need to be really careful buying secondhand car seats, so don't just buy any car seat online. In the UK there is legalities around buying secondhand car seats, so just be aware of that. That goes along with my number 7, which is a baby car mirror. I'll insert a picture of what I mean. When I'm driving, I like to be able to see my babies, and like I said, I have really sicky babies, so if they projectile vomit, I'll be able to know I can stop the car, I can give them a clean, burp them and sort them out. It takes that nervousness of driving away, especially when you've got a newborn baby and you can't see them. It's daunting. I bought it secondhand for a couple of pounds. It was great. My number 7 is actually a IKEA high chair. When we had my first, I bought this beautiful Cassato high chair. I'll try and insert a picture of what we did buy. This for my first. We bought it in the sale, but it was still expensive. It was hard to clean. Though it was beautiful, it took up so much space. It wasn't functional because in our first house we had a tiny 2 up 2 down and it took up a lot of space. After having that for a few months, I was like, this is not working. I sold that and I bought an IKEA high chair like this. And this was life-changing. They are compactable, like they don't take up much space. You can take off all the legs and store it away if you need to really easily. They have inserts so that you can put the baby in there from a younger age, and they're so easy to clean. If I were to go back, I would have never bought and spent all this money on the Cassato, and I would have just bought an IKEA high chair from the beginning. I bought it secondhand for a £5, and I am converted to the IKEA high chairs. They are amazing. Hey guys, excuse the hair and lack of makeup. I wasn't expecting to have to film anything today, but you are gonna notice that I missed my number 8. So here is my number 8, very quickly to you. It is a very simple, compact buggy, like this one. This is the one that we got. And I don't feel like a buggy is anywhere near as important as most of the things on this list. And by the way, this list isn't in order. It probably would be my bottom of the list. We bought ours secondhand. That is my number 8, and then back to the nicely videoed and put together Amelia. My number 9 is actually a co-sleeper. A co-sleeper was really handy, and because I have quite small babies, they fit into them for quite a long time. But we have a co-sleeper like this, and it just makes breastfeeding, sleeping, and getting ready in the morning, if you want to put the side up while you get ready and you know your baby is safe and contained. I really like the co-sleepers. And what we tend to do is we have a co-sleeper that they're in for the first few months. We have a really big bed, it's 6 foot, and we just co-sleep with our babies until about 18 months or 2 years. Even now, our kids sometimes jump into bed with us, and because we have such a big bed, we're so okay with this. We just get the co-sleeper and then straight to the sharing the bed and having their own section. My number 10, I would always need a breast pump. With both my children, I had so much extra milk that I was able to pump, freeze and donate what we didn't use. And I loved being able to help people out and donate my breast milk. I was able to actually donate my breast milk to a mother who could not breastfeed because her child had a severe allergy. So I was able to pump and freeze and donate my breast milk to her, which was really amazing to know that my breast milk's done that. And I'm very aware that a lot of these ones might not be the same for you. You might find that these don't work for you and that you want a lot of the stuff that maybe I wouldn't use, and that's okay. This is the amazing thing about being mums, is we get to parent the way that we want to parent. There isn't a specific right or wrong answer to how you parent and what you use. This is just what worked for me. We are quite minimal. We are a mostly minimalistic type family. We don't like a lot of things. You very quickly realize when you have children that you just accumulate stuff. Yeah, I don't need a lot of stuff to parent. I think to parent newborns, at least, it's as long as you have the basics covered, you're good. All of the extra stuff I feel is just a bit of a faff. Right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and leave me a comment down below of any other video you would like me to make and create. I'm just making myself laugh now. Yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Subscribe! Bye friends.